Hello, let's do some yoga. We're going to start in a child's pose. So scuttle on over to your mat. And let's get into closed knee one. So bringing the feet together and just dropping the chest down onto the thighs, bringing your forehead down, and just allowing the arms to be tucked down the side of the body. And just taking some nice deep breaths, just relaxing here. So child's pose is a really good place to start practice. You're starting really low to the ground, got your eyes closed, you're really tuning in to notice what your body is feeling like. And just see if you can get into quite a deep state of relaxation right at the beginning. This is what these longer poses right at the beginning are for, so that you can just start to tune into more presentness. So noticing how your body feels is something that we can ask ourselves. Noticing what you can feel is another. And then seeing if you can just stay being aware of your breath. And once you are tuned into your breath, just allow for slightly deeper, slower breath. It's an invitation for wholeness. And I like to think sometimes if you've got a lot of worry or anxiety or just thoughts about things, just leave them outside of your yoga space. Come into a place of stillness in the mind and the body. We're going to be working our heart space. So a great way to start, think about feeling into your heart space around the back. And then breathing into that space. See if you can feel your ribs expanding laterally. So we've got those connective tissues in between the ribs, intercostal muscles. See if you can feel them working as you're breathing in and out. And we're going to try and hold ourselves in compassion throughout our practice today. So trying to be aware if any negative thoughts come up. See if we can come back to this place of stillness. And if your body isn't doing what you'd like it to, just allow yourself to be okay with that. It's about acceptance. So if you've got any injuries or anything that you've got niggles about your body, just take it really easy. Don't do some of the things. The fact that you've switched this on and you've rolled your mat out and you're here right now could be enough. You might want to stay in child's pose. If you don't, let's have 3 more big breaths here. Really filling the chest. I like to think of air coming into the body as like new energy, creating space as well. So then very slowly just getting up into tabletop. If you need to stretch out your legs, do that. So notice how your body feels. So we stayed in child's pose for a couple of minutes. It can be a little bit of a challenge for your legs, your knees. My body doesn't particularly like it. So just honouring that. And then getting into a tabletop, so making sure the hands are underneath the shoulders. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Make sure that longest middle finger is pointing forward as much as possible. And there's a softness through the elbows, but the arms are as long as you can get them, pushing into the mat. Taking some nice deep breaths again. Now we're going to get ourselves into melting heart. So checking that the hips stay above the knees. We're just taking a little bit of a gentle stretch forward and bring your awareness to your chest. You're bringing your chest down. If your elbows come down first, that's fine. Forehead first. Take some deep breaths just to settle here. It's a very big stretch around the armpits and the upper chest. And our aim is not to get our chest down towards the mat. It's just to stretch out the front of the upper chest. So if you want to go a little bit deeper now, you can start to think about, could I lift my chin up? Make sure your arms are as soft as possible. And let's see if you can just sink a little bit deeper with the next few breaths. I'm going to get out of this really slowly. I like to bring myself back on the forehead, bring myself back onto the elbows, and then one hand under the shoulder, then the other. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And then we're going to go in for a twist. So left hand just a little bit more into the center. The right hand's coming up all the way up. We're going for a stretch first. Take a deep breath in, and then we're going to bring that arm down and just post it in that space onto the shoulder. We're going to extend the left arm long so that we can just relax here. So bend that left elbow. Use that exhale to release. You might feel a little bit of pressure building up on that right shoulder. That can feel quite interesting. As part of the pose, he's putting a little bit of a halt into all the things that are normally flowing around. I like to imagine it's like squeezing a sponge so that when you open it up again, you get that wonderful kind of filling back up again. And then very slowly coming back up, back into the tabletop. Notice how that right shoulder feels. Then right hand a little bit more into the center, left arm up, a couple of breaths here. And then taking it into this twist here. So we're dropping onto the left shoulder. Let's extend that right arm long, and we're dropping everything down. Trying to go a little bit more relaxed with each exhale. Give yourself permission to release. Good, well done. Very slowly coming back up. So bringing that right arm in, pushing into the mat, back into tabletop. Give yourself any little bits of movement, and then just taking the hands forward, curling the toes under, lifting up the knees, and push back into downward facing dog. So first one, pedaling out the legs. Let's keep this one quite a soft one. Checking in that the back feels like it's straight, dropping the head down. Give your head a shake to make sure you're not holding any tension there. Notice how your neck feels. Now let's just come to stillness. Now notice where your feet are. Try and get your hands and your feet running on a line if possible. So we're looking for shoulder distance between the hands and hip distance between the feet. And you can start to have a little bit of a play backwards and forwards, just pushing into a little bit. We are going to very slowly make our way into plank. So take a good few more breaths, curling the tips of the fingers over, and then slowly coming forward. Now you might need to adjust your feet, take them back a little bit. And we're just going to hold here, dropping the hips down so that they're in align with the rest of the body. Good. One more deep breath in. Exhale, lifting up the hips. See if you can keep your feet where they were in plank. Just take them a little bit wider and push back. So slightly different sensation here. Good. Now dropping onto the knees, flattening the feet. And into a modified side plank. So the right knee just comes in just a little bit. Take the foot off on a diagonal. And then we're just going to open up to the left. So take the arm up. And the left foot is staying down. Just feel that big stretch around the body, different body parts. Take a glance down. Just make sure that the shoulder is above the right arm. And then take a glance up if you can. See if that left arm is as straight as possible. Good, well done. And bringing that left hand down and back into tabletop. Just readjusting, and then left knee in, take that foot off and to the opposite side. So really planting the right foot down, using that for balance. I've got left hand, left knee, right foot in a kind of line and checking down, then checking up. One more big breath. And then slowly coming back to tabletop. Well done. Let's close the eyes and just move through cow and cat. Dropping the belly, taking the chest up. Let's have a deep breath in and exhale, rounding through the spine. Excellent. Well done. Really just moving with your breath, seeing how your spine is. Remembering that we're thinking about opening through the chest and then rounding through the spine, so opening through the back of the body. Let's do one more of each. And then just meeting back in tabletop. So we're going to get ourselves into three-legged dog. Now, if this is not available to you, you can stay in tabletop. So three-legged dog is in downward facing dog, bringing the feet a little bit closer together. I'm going to take the right leg up. So quite a big stretch, quite a bit of work for the body. Holding here. So if you're in tabletop, you're just extending that right leg out. Try and keep the hips square in both of those. Now, if you're in downward facing dog, I want you to bend the knee and open the hip. If you're in three-legged dog, I want you to just bring that foot forward and just bring the foot so it's in front of the left foot. We're going to get ourselves into fallen star. So this right foot then is going to go over towards the left. So you're crossing your legs. Come forward into plank. And then as you're lifting up, maybe take that left arm up, straightening both legs. So the right foot is just a little bit in front. Glancing down, glancing up. And then very slowly coming back to downward facing dog. So if you're in tabletop, just come up into downward facing dog just for a couple of breaths. Well done. So back in your knees if you need to. You're going to take the left leg up. Just squaring through the hips. And then if you're on your knees, on your knee, you're going to lift and open through the hip. We're going to get into fallen star on this side. So bringing that left foot forward and then taking it off the mat, coming forward and then pushing through that left arm. If you can, lifting up the hips. Good, well done. And very slowly, let's all of us meet in downward facing dog. A breath here and then into a forward fold. Well done. I'm sure that your wrists and your hands need a little bit of moving after that. So just give them a little bit of just exploring, seeing how that feels. And then into a forward fold. If you take it into a rag doll, you might want to do that. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Give yourself a little bit of moving from side to side. And then very slowly making your way up. And we're going to do a quarter turn so that we're facing the longer edge of the mat. And take the feet wide. Let's have the heels coming in just a little bit. And we're going to bring the hands to the hips. And we're just going to bend the knees just a little bit. Maybe they feel like they're coming somewhere over the feet. The back is straight. Good. Now we're going to take the left arm up and we're going to bend more into this right leg. So we're stretching out the left leg and going for this bit of a side stretch. So a lot of work for this right leg. Take the gaze up towards the ceiling. So we're stretching out in here. Good, well done. Let's windmill the arm down, all the way down, back into the middle, bending the knees, and then taking the right arm up. And we're going to go in for more of a bend through this left leg, stretching out that left arm. Trying to get a long line from the right fingertips all the way down to that right foot. Good, back to the center. Let's straighten out the legs, hands to the hips. Deep breath in. I'm going to fold forward into halfway lift. Now this time we're just going to drop the left shoulder down just a little bit. So keeping the elbows up, hands onto your hips. Very slowly coming back to center. Let's drop the right shoulder down. So you're going to get a bigger stretch down one side of your legs. Back to center. Let's drop down. Hands coming down. Give yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And you're just going to lift up the arms. So you're crossing the arms and you're going to grab the legs with those crossed arms wherever it's comfortable. And just take your gaze in between the arms and then open the arms. So let's go for the front arm, the elbow is coming forward, and just see if you can just bring your head into that space. So the gaze is kind of going over towards a foot. Well done. And then coming back, swap the arms over and just repeat that. Big stretch through the hips. And then coming back, well done. And just fold forward, arms down. Give yourself a little bit of moving from side to side. Excellent, well done. Now we're going to take the first two fingers and just slot them around the big toe. Elbows out. I'm going to take a deep breath in, lifting up and lengthening. And then exhale, folding forward and use that traction of pulling on the big toe. Sticking the elbows out just to get a deeper stretch. Let's do that again. Inhale to come up, lift and lengthen. Exhale, folding forward. Give your head a shake. Give your hips a little bit of a wiggle. One more time, deep breath in. And fold forward. And then very slowly coming back up. So maybe walking your hands on your legs. Take your time. Notice how you feel when you come back. I'm just going to do bringing the feet together, back hip distance together, and just into mountain. So lifting up the chest. And then taking the arms all the way up, we're going to grab hold of the left wrist and just a gentle stretch over towards the right. And remember, this is lifting up that arm. And then back to the center. Well done. Swapping the arms over so that we can go to the other side. And then coming back and releasing the arms down. Nice big semicircles and into our balance. So all we're going to do is you're going to use the left leg as a standing leg. We're going to bend the right knee and flex the right foot. This is stage 1. So just think about opening through the chest, turning the palms of the hands forward. Good, well done. Let's swap legs over. So dropping the right leg down, lifting up the left leg. Notice how you are on this side. Good, and then just back to mountain, just if you need to do anything with your feet. And then coming back to mountain. So we're going to repeat that, but we're going to take a twist, see if we can take a twist with that. I'll do a turn so that you can see this version. So lifting up that right leg, left hand comes on to the outside. I'm going to take the right arm out and just see if we can turn that gaze towards the back. So the right leg trying to be hip height. The knee is supposed to be hip height, flexing the foot. So we can feel a big opening through the chest. Come back into it if you can, if you fall out of it. 2 more breaths. And then releasing, well done. So I'm just going to twist round. Same thing, other side. So we're bending that knee, grabbing hold of the outside of the thigh, trying to keep that knee at the front so we're not pulling it across. Left arm is long. And we're taking that openness through this left side. Make sure that foot is flexed. Good work, well done. Very slowly coming back and just make your way to the top of your mats. Just come to mountain. Just breathing into the space that you've created in the body. We're going to get into a forward fold. So make sure your feet are distance apart. We're just going to slowly fold forward. Bring the arms down and get into gorilla. So we're going to really stretch the backs of the legs. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Pulse the hands underneath. Drop the head down. And just play around. Maybe if your hamstrings are tight, you do one leg at a time. If you feel like you've got a little bit deeper, stretching them both out, rounding through the back, so opening through the middle of the back as well as stretching the hamstrings. Good, and then releasing. So soften the knees, take the hands out the way, into halfway, hands onto the shins. So nice straight, flat back. And I'm going to add aeroplane arms. So we take the palms of the hands behind us, straight arms, spread your fingers nice and wide and open through the chest here. And the more you pick your hands up and or pull your thumbs together, the more you're going to feel that in your body. Good. Slowly folding down and back into downward facing dog. Good, well done. And on to the knees. Now we're going to have a go at getting into a stronger side plank. If you know that this is not for you, you can do the modified one again. So we're going to get onto our right forearm with the forearm parallel to the front of the mat. So the right shoulder is above the elbow. Bring that right knee in. We're going to open up to the left, lengthen through this left leg, and just take it forward so that you can tuck the right foot behind and then open up. Now, this left hand can just rest on the hip, so if you want to take it up, I'm really clenching the right side of my waist, lifting up the hips. Good, well done. Let's have 2 more breaths here. And then into the other side. So drop the knees down, pick that right arm up, left forearm down, and it's the right leg in front. Sorry, I've got my back to it again. So lift up the hips. Good, well done. 1 more breath. And then everyone, just meeting in child's pose. Let's go for a wide knee one this time. Settling the hips back. And just breathe here. And just notice how your heart space feels. Good, and just lifting up the head. Well done. So bringing the knees together, we're going to bring the hands behind us, tented fingers, and just lift up the chest. If you want to, you can lift up the hips as well. Breathe in here. So your chin can either be tucked down or you can open through the neck, throat area. Lifting up the chest, opening, maybe pulling the shoulders back. And then releasing down. Well done. Now we're going to get onto our back very shortly. We're going to do a twist and then we're going to get ourselves into fish. So in fish, remember that the arms are coming behind us, so tucked underneath, so the hands are underneath the bum with the palms down. So onto the back. If you can, take your arms wide or maybe bend through the elbows. And let's just pull the knees in. And let's drop the knees over towards the left, trying to keep both shoulders down and both arms as well. And this is going to maybe feel this into your chest. So just taking a note, if anything's come up for you through practice, that you held with a little bit more compassion that you would normally not do. Got to be kind, we've got to be gentle, first of all with ourselves. And then we can release that on other people. Well done. Keep the arms where they are. Let's pull the knees up. I'm going to have to shuffle a little bit over towards the left. And notice if one side's a little bit tighter. Just allow the knees just to drop. Good. 2 more breaths. And just make sure that you're releasing any holds in your body. And then let's release the arms down. We're going to bring the knees up. Keep the knees bent. So arms down the side of the body. We're going to just tilt over to one side, tuck that shoulder and the arm underneath, and then drop onto the arm as we lift up the body to the side. So at the moment, I've got both arms underneath, palms are facing down. And we're going to straighten the legs out and we're going to lift up the elbows so the chest comes all the way up, and then we're coming onto the crown of the head. Really big stretch for the front of the chest into the throat. We're plugging the crown chakra into the earth. Also opening through the solar plexus, we're lifting up the sacral, we're plugging the root chakra into the ground as well. Good. 3 more big breaths here, really opening through the chest. Good. Now coming out of it, let's think about our crown of the head first of all. Let's push a little bit more into the back of the head. That's going to drop us down a bit. Moving one arm, moving the other. Give your arms a little bit of a wiggle and pull the knees in. And just gently rock from side to side. Drawing some circles. Now, if there's anything that you're working on, any balances, now is a great time to do that. If you want to take a really long Shavasana, again, this is time. So I've took you to half an hour. I hope that you're feeling really nice and open, particularly around the heart space. So you can stop this video and do whatever you need to do, whether it's more practice or you're going in for your Shavasana. But whatever you do, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you later.